Am I live? I think I'm live. Yes, I'm live. Okay, we're good.
Differently, it drives a bit differently, and yeah, overall, I'd say I prefer the feeling. The car is new, so there's lots of things to learn, but honestly, I think we've been trying loads of things with the team, done loads of different tests, different setups, all these kind of things, chipping away, to be honest.
Yeah, really, really exciting. It's a nice step, and it's definitely got differences, which I think will definitely help me moving forward. So I'm quite happy with how it feels.
Yeah, great to be back here. Returning from F4, so this is a step up this year. New car as well, so it's exciting feel out for everyone. And great. I think it's a really interesting car. Definitely, it's faster than the previous one. But I think all of us have a lot to learn. My presentation was really impressive.
The Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship returns here. This is round number 1, race number 1 of the championship. This should be very, very interesting indeed. We've got some brand new champions that should make this. We've got some brand new contenders for the championship coming into this round. I am quite excited to see what happens throughout this championship and who can become a brand new champion of this series. Of course, supporting the... Not really supporting anything, but the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship returns. We had a very exciting season come last time out. Last time out in round number 4, we saw Freddie Slater top. Sorry, no, it wasn't Freddie Slater. It was, I can't remember who it was, but it was definitely Freddie Slater one year. And this year, we're looking for a brand new champion. That should be very interesting. Can we crown a brand new champion? Let's wait and find out. But for now, let's send it up to your commentary team up in the commentary box. Or, as I'd say, pit lane, in the pit lane.
Formula One ended in 2025, and where a new generation of racing car kicks off in 2026. The Tartas F326 has been long awaited, and with 32 drivers covered by just over a second in qualifying, it's sure to be a fantastic first race for this brand new car. Alex Abkasava starts from pole position, but whether he'll win or not is a very different question.
Temperature at the moment is 21 degrees. Thank you, Jake Sanson, who's down there in the pit lane. Track at the moment, 21 degrees. We've got a nice track temperature for the moment. But let's go now through your track map here. This is where we are racing. We are racing around the Abu Dhabi circuit. Well, the more or less north circuit layout of this venue here. Turn 1, we got 16 corners, and turn 1 is about 150 metres down the road. Lap length about 5,280 metres, and distance from start point to end point is 315 metres throughout the whole entire track. The Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship, this is going to be a very, very interesting round, if I do say so myself. This is race number 1 here of this championship. Race number 1, round number 1, with a brand new car. Teams are trying to figure them out, especially some of those bigger teams. For example, Prema, they're struggling with their cars at the moment, trying to really find that middle ground with their cars come this week. You can see there the MP Motorsport team watching on, waiting for the queue to come off the grid, talking to their drivers as well. There is Rashid Al-Dahiri, who is a very big threat come this round to try and take this championship. He's a very big threat indeed. There he is, Rashid Al-Dahiri, sitting there in his car, waiting patiently for this race to get underway. We then head to third on the grid. This car number 3 as we look on there. And this is Maximilian Popov, who was the Formula Regional European champion. He wasn't the champion, but he got close to it. He finished 8th in that championship. The Jamaican driver will be wanting to try and wrap this championship up here in the Middle East. Let's see if he can do that this weekend. The Prema team. New livery for Prema come 2026. Of course, new tyres as well for the Middle Eastern Championship. Running the Pirelli tyre, not the GT tyre this weekend. This is Keen Nakamura Berta, who starts P4. The Falcon Mumbai Falcon team watching on, supported by MP Motorsport. Keen Nakamura Berta, the Italian F4 champion. We've got the High-Tech GT, High-Tech GP team as well. This is Taito Kato, the ART Grand Prix team, hoping that Taito Kato can do well this round. The Japanese driver, hoping to score some good points. We'll have to run through this grid quite quickly because I think teams are now starting to make their way off the grid. And there you go. So that, I think, is about your top 7 cars on the grid for the start of this race. There are the lights up on the gantry. That is the indication that teams slowly but surely have to start making their way off the grid and into the pit lane. But yeah, 32 cars. This is going to be a very great race. This is going to be very interesting as well to see what our drivers can do from the grids. And of course, when that checkered flag drops, 28 minutes plus 1 lap will be the time. About 17 laps if we go green flag throughout all of this race. It's around 17 laps we will be getting if we go green flag to the end. Of course, all F4 cars this year will be running the Tortoise chassis. Brand new chassis for the F4 cars. That will make it very interesting. You can see there 28 minutes is the length of this race. As I just mentioned, 28 minutes of length for this race here. But yeah, no more using that GT tyre. It is now the Pirelli tyre that these cars will be running. Yeah, for 2026, this will be very interesting. The Marshals now coming off the grid, and so are the teams. So, grabbing things off the cars, making sure nothing is left on those cars. And they'll make their way off to the side of the track, behind the barriers, as we get ready for this race start. And now, the cars left sat, waiting for the beginning of the formation lap. Will be oh so important to try and get as much temperature into the Pirellis as possible. For those drivers that have used the Pirelli tyres before, they will get that advantage of, you know, that warm-up cycle. Drivers that haven't used the GT tyres before, that haven't used the Pirelli tyres before, and only used the GT tyres that were on these cars last year, then they will have to learn something new, and they actually probably would have got that chance to do a few warm-up cycles on the Pirellis. We get the green flag, though, and the cars make their way off the grid. And there's a car that has stalled, and I think that would be Keen Nakamura Berta. Possibly. There's actually 2 or 3 cars that have stalled off the grid here. So, yeah, there's 2 cars that have not made it off the grid. If they can't get moving, that will be a problem, and I think they have. Very good job there from the drivers to try and get the cars moving off the grid here. Very, very important. Especially this early on in the championship. To try and score as many points as possible. No push to pass in this championship. It is pure racing. Pure racing to the 28-minute mark There is Taito Kato, who I think stalled off the grid. So it wasn't King Nakamura Berta, it was Taito Kato that had stalled off the grid. But yes, 28 minutes plus 1 lap. This is the F1 main straight we are looking at here. Let's take a look at the starting grid. It is Alexander Abascaga and Rashid Al-Dahiri. Then we have Maximilian Popov and Keen Nakamura Berta, K&B as you'd call him. Taito Kato and Alex Powell, who lines up P5 and P6 on this grid. Christian Ho and Alex Nedovic. We have then Kabir Anurag and Yuki Sano, who sits in P10 and P11. P9 and P10, we have Miguel Costa and Maxime Rem. Francisco Madoco and Reza Savaruken. And Andrea Kostic and Fu Yao Hao. Then Dion Gauda and Giovanni Maschio, 2 Formula Regional European Championship drivers. Artem Savaruken as well, the European driver. And Jan Prozowski. Then General Chai and Andrea Dup in P21 and P22. Followed by Kai Daranani and Michael Belov. We then have Salim Hanna and Enya Frey, who lines up P25 and P26. Expect those two to make their way through the grid. Matteo Gagarici and Gard as well. We then have August Raber and Alus Feldman Neto, P30. Sebastian Weldon, P31, as well, lining up off the back of the grid. Quite a disappointing qualifying for Sebastian Weldon. Not what he would have wanted in his qualifying sessions, should we say. P31 and P32. Or P31 on the grid, so practically dead last. And I did catch P32 there on the grid. But yeah, 32 cars should make for a very interesting race, number 1. As the drivers continue to put temperature through the rubber. Be also critical as they will make their way to turn number 1. On this circuit, it's turn 8. Where we saw, iconically, Lewis Hamilton go off the road, spear off the road, and into the barriers. It's quite an interesting turn 1, quite long length. It's quite easy to turn in a bit too early and take someone out. But I suppose we'll have to wait and find out. The first race of 2026, the first racing action of 2026 is about to get underway. And we'll have the green flag at the back. And there it is, green flag at the back of the grids. The UAE F4 already had their race, and we're about to go racing for the Formula Regional Championship. It's 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go, and it's pedal to the metal, and it's go, 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 go. There's 2 cars at the back of the grid that did sadly knock it off the line. Hopefully they do, though. Side by side into turn number 1. Alazaka takes the lead. There, as we saw Al-Dahiri looking around the outside. It's not going to happen. Maximilian Popov and Keen Nakamura Berta. They one side by side, and dust being kicked off in the backgrounds. It's all being kicked off as they make their run through turn number 3 and out the other side. I think everybody's made their way through. Yes, they have. They're side by side mostly through the first couple of corners. And it's now all about trying to find a bit of a rhythm there. At the moment, it is Rashid Al-Dahiri who's gone right around the outside and looks up the inside. It's not going to happen. They're side by side. I don't think. There, we've cut away to the grid. There we go. Back to Awazaka and Rashid Al-Dahiri. They've sorted that out. Maximilian Popov and King Nakamura Berta, who sits in P4. He'll want an early start in this regional championship. Of course, King Nakamura Berta moving to the Formula Regional European Championship here in 2026. His car, someone up the curb on the right-hand side. People being squeezed. And who is that squeezing? I think that's Alex Nedovic squeezing Kai Anurag. They're side by side into turn number 1 on the F1 circuit. Once more squeeze off the circuit. And up the curb goes the cars. So a very interesting first minute and a half of this race. As there is Rashid Al-Dahiri who looks up the inside. It's not going to happen. Especially not into this complex of corners. Of which is the hairpin. The driver's getting the power down. And out the other side, there's a few side-by-side moments further back. But I think we seem to be good. Everybody seemed to have got through quite nicely. Al-Dahiri to the outside now. Al-Dahiri, Rashid Al-Dahiri. Can he get the move done on Awazaka? I don't think he can. He keeps the position, but he's covering quite well here, Awazaka. Can he actually end up pulling away here? This line astern as they make their run now. Down through and into turn number 1 on the circuit. Popov, Maximilian Popov, the Jamaican driver, will want to get in on this. To the outside now goes Rashid Al-Dahiri. A bit of contact, possibly to the rear end of the car of Awazaka. To the outside now goes Rashid out there. It's not going to happen. He stays in P2. Awazaka in P2. Awazaka in P1. Pop off in P3. And King Nakamura Roberto, who's right there in P4. Yeah, he'll want to look for a move here. Most likely. Here's Taito Kato in behind. Also, who will want to look for a move. This is a battle. P3, 4, and P5. And these guys have done a very, very good job to keep this clean in the opening 3 minutes and 40 seconds of this race. But their line is stern now as they make their run through turn 12. The drivers go. This is the final corner on the F1 complex, where we iconically saw Lando Norris cross the line first in what was one of the best F1 races in terms of the strategy that had played out throughout the entirety of the race. 24 minutes though and 50 seconds remaining. Abazaka is now starting to pull away from the man himself, Rashid Al Daheri. He'll be looking for some early points here this weekend. Slipstream will be a big factor as well. If you could sit inside behind someone's slipstream, you'll be in a pretty good position for most of the race here at the moment. Indeed, you will be. You'll be in a pretty good position here. For those people that are joining in on the recording, we've just had a pretty good start. Awazaka leads over Rashid Al Daheri, Maximilian Popov, and King Nakamura Berta, who sits in P4. If you've just joined in on the recording, which has just started here, we've got a very interesting race unfolding ahead of us. As now Awazaka starts to pull away slightly, 0.3 of a second. 32 cars. The biggest mover in this field at the moment, Sebastian Weldon. He's up 8 spots from his original starting spot, which is, of course, P31. So a very good job indeed. Kyanarag up 2 spots. Michael Bellov up 3. So there's going to be a lot of movers and shakers throughout the grids at the moment, as that is off the road and in a big way. And who is that off the road? That looks to be one of the AIX cars that has gone spearing off the road. It was up in the air at one point. But everybody else seems to be in a pretty good position for the moment. Yeah, this race is very much calmed down at the moment. Here, the field run line astern. Track temperature at the moment is 22 degrees. So 22 degree track temperature will make it a little bit more interesting for those drivers, and something they will have to contend with as well. Making sure, of course, those Pirelli tyres, making sure you actually find the limits of those Pirellis. And, of course, once you can find those limits of the Pirellis, then you've got to make sure you don't overheat them in the early phase of this race. Very easy to overheat these Pirellis. As up the inside looks King Nakamura Berta or Maximilian Popov. Welcome in, Edwin. I'm good. How are you? Welcome in, bro. Good to see you again. As we get this race slowly but surely underway. We're 4 minutes done in this race. 4 minutes, 10 seconds, should I be exact. But yeah, Azazaka, who leads out in front, 4/10 to the gap of Rashid Al Daheri. Maximilian Popov in P3. King Nakamura in P4. The DKR Racing team watching on from the pit wall as we cut back to our leaders. And the cars making their run through the Turn 1 complex on the F1 circuit. I think this might be Turn 11 on the North circuit. The cars make their run through now. Al Daheri, who sits in P2, only 4/10 off the lead. I don't think our timings, though, have updated to the actual times. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Edwin. Thank you, man. Is now the top two sit line astern. Are you proud for my commentary? You proud for my commentary, I'm guessing. Is now flicking the car in second place, sitting in behind, which is Rashid Al Daheri. The reason why I bring up his name so much is because he was very, very competitive in the European Championship. Meanwhile, to the outside, Ninovic and Ho, side by side. Looking for a move. Around the outside, it's not going to happen. They sit, though. Line astern, not going to happen. He looked for a move right around the outside. Just didn't happen in the end. 20 minutes remaining in the Regional Middle Eastern Championship. It's now the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Trophy Championship. Of course, earning a cash prize of $50,000 plus that seat to the Formula Regional European Championship come mid-April here in 2026. Earn a cash prize of $50,000 if you win just this championship alone. And it gets bigger and bigger. And of course, once you get to the European Championship, you win that, you get that seat to F3. You win that, you go to F2, and eventually you'll be in F1. Where you'll spend a couple of years there. For people like, of course, Michael Schumacher, who spent many of years in the F1 program. Since 2011. I stand corrected if I am. But I think it's 2011 that Michael Schumacher did end up retiring from the sport. Been there for 21 years before retiring. Very famous driver. And one day, you'll be hearing one of these drivers' names in the Formula 1 Championship. Is now Rashid Al Daheri with a toe on the back of Awazaka. My prediction at the start of the race was wrong. He wasn't able to pull away. Because Al Daheri is right there, right behind him. Popov in P3. Kin Nakamura Berta in P4. And Kato in P5. He's stuck right with him throughout the whole entirety of this race. It's been about 7 minutes, 45 seconds. Gone throughout this one. I have also started up a new channel for those people that are joining in. If you would like the link to the new channel, head to my community post. I can't speak English. I translate words from Google Translate. All good, man. All good. Yes, so if you are wondering, I have got a brand new channel. It is actually in the link in my post, in my community post. So go check that one out. New videos are uploading every single day over there. So making sure, oh, and that's a car off in a big way. And that is one of the AIX cars. Spun right round and he's lost it on his own as he just gotten out in the dust. That is car 17. One of the back markers further back, right round and in the fence. Where are you from? I'm in Australia. Edwin, I'm from Australia. Yeah, Awazaka. P1 at the moment. P2, Rashid Al Daheri. And Popov in P3. Cars now make their run down the back straight. 9 minutes to go. I'm just interested there, car 17. I'm just wondering how he actually got in that situation, unless he just got out in the dust. It's quite dusty offline here at Abu Dhabi. Haven't had many races here since the Formula 1, of course. We do have the F4 UAE Championship laying down the more Pirelli rubber onto this circuit. And then, of course, we do have this Middle Eastern Championship here laying down chunks of rubber come this weekend through practice qualifying. And this track continuing to rubber in. It's quite dirty, dusty, and the track is starting to... There's more marbles off the outside of the circuit as well. Where the drivers have to be extremely careful of. Go offline just a little bit. Where and try. If you get off that black stuff, you'll be straight in the dust and all the marbles that lay off the outside of the circuit. You wouldn't want to be in any of that. It would be very much a treacherous time and the car would end up spinning. But yeah, 10 minutes gone in this race. 10 minutes, 25 seconds gone. And we've got Awazaka, who sits in P1. Rashid Al-Tahiri in P2. Popov in P3. Kinaka Alberta in P4. And Tato Kasa, who sits in P5. Into the braking zone now go the drivers of the chicane. Awazaka continues to lead the race. We've got 15 minutos behind us that is still to come. Yep. But indeed, we've got Rashid Al-Lahiri, who sits in P2. About a second and a half back is the Jamaican driver, who will be hoping to take advantage of any incidents that happen up in front of him. Very much hoping that will happen for Maximilian Popov in this race. But yeah, Rashid Al-Dahiri doesn't seem like he's planning an attack anytime soon. The Jamaican driver there sits in P3. We'll be hoping for a good result. And at this point, he'll be scoring himself 15 points. A banking of 15 points. Of course, the regional championships do run Formula 1 style points. So it's going to make it very interesting in terms of the championship. We've had many championship deciders gone down in the recent past. For example, Freddie Slater, who was very, very strong. And along with Enzo Deligny last year as well. The back end of last year where he was very dominant as well. Those two with a championship battle going right down to Qatar. Supporting the World Endurance Championship, which we will be doing this year. Thank you so much, Edwin. But yeah, that championship went right down to the end. Meta MJ saying that's not a great advert for the new cars. They clearly need push to pass. It would be good to see some push to pass, as we've got a battle going on here between one of the Prema cars, the AIX car, looking around the outside. Not going to happen. And he's keeping that position for now. That is Andrea Kostic and Dion Gauda. Their line astern as they make their run. And a bit of contact and a bit of a slide there from Andrea Kostic. Right up the back end of the car in front of him. He's right there. You know, he's definitely not going to let this position go. Very much. Not easy. Not easily, at least. This is a battle for minor positions. Further back down the grids. 12 minutes remain here in race number 1 of the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship. We are bringing in streams to you daily here on this channel. Travis Motorsports bringing you daily racing streams. As we look for our race leaders as they make their run through the chicane. As, yeah, back to that point there. Need push to passes in these cars. It would be very good. It would make this racing sort of interesting here as well. 11 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Not saying it's not interesting. We have had battles all the way up and down the grids. But yeah, 11 and a half minutes to go in this one. I'm your fan. Good to see. Thank you, man. Thank you. Abazaka leads out in front at the moment. As now line astern they run down into the first corner on the regional layout on the North Circuit, as we'd call it. We do run all part of the track here for this championship. Of course, we are running the 2 opening rounds of the championship here at Abu Dhabi. The first opening 2 rounds, we're using the corkscrew section. Come round number 2, and then round number 3, we head off to Lusail. Then followed by, no, round number 3, we head off to the Dubai Autodrome. Before then heading to Lusail and Bahrain. Come round number 5. So that should be very interesting indeed for the drivers. And to make it just that little bit more interesting as well. 10 minutes to go. Here are our front 2. Battling at the, well, not really battling, they sit line astern. Through the chicane they run. Bouncing the curb. And at the other side, using all the ripple strip on the outside of the circuit. Those ripple strips very much do contain a lot of grip when a lot of cars go around the circuit. We've had nearly 63 cars running around twice a day around this circuit. So the track rubbers in very, very quickly. Gets quite grippy as well. This circuit. Just think the amount of junk that was on the outside of the circuit at the end of the F1 race that we had here at the finale. Just think the amount of junk that we had on the outside of the circuit, all the marbles, all the build-up that was on the outside of the circuit. And that was because, you know, we've had 1,000 kilos of downforce washing all the dust away and putting down layers and layers, strips and strips of rubber onto this circuit. 1,000 kilos of downforce, making those F1 cars a beast through the corners. They're able to lay a lot of rubber down on the exit, especially through those high load corners. It's the same with these F4 cars, not as much downforce, about 350 kilos of downforce, but you'll be surprised how much work the aerodynamics of these cars do to clear some of that dust away. You've got to think, in free practice, the F4 UAE Championship were the first ones out there. There were layers of dust coming off the back of the cars in free practice. And that continues through qualifying. And through these guys' practice as well. 50 minutes of free practice these drivers got. And then they got, I think, nearly 8 hours of pre-season testing to run through. The first 6 hours when nobody out on track. Quite legitimately. We had pre-season testing here. We've also had the first 2 rounds here. And now we're running through race number 1 of round number 1 here at Abu Dhabi. Line astern, the front 2 run. Here, this is Abazaka. And at the moment, I would think Reginol he sits in P2 for the moment. Popov in P3. Ken Nakamura Roberta in P4. And Kato in P5. Alex Powell in P6. Nenovich in P7. Ho in P8. Maxim Rem in P9. And Da Costa in P10. That is your race order at the moment. Here with about 7 minutes to go. Now we've just ticked under 6 minutes and 55 seconds and continuously ticking does this clock. It's been a very interesting first couple of rounds. Through the first half of this race, it's been a very interesting first half. Of course, we saw cars make their run off the grid. In turn number 1, we saw Abazaka lead through to turn number 1. Rashid Al-Daheri followed in behind. Popov looked for a move. It didn't happen. He got close, but it didn't happen. He stayed P3 in this race. He has stayed P3 through most of it as well. Drivers just haven't been able to get close enough to each other to pull a move. Everybody seems to have quite even pace We'll see what happens in race number 2 and race number 3. Race number 2 is reverse grid of race number 1. Sorry. Yes, race number 2 is reverse grid of race number 1. In qualifying 2, we'll have decided race number 3 for the weekend. So we'll see if these two can make their way through the grid throughout the weekend. Expect them to make their way through the grid. It will make race 2 a very interesting race. Very interesting indeed. In terms of action for race number 2, we'll see plenty of overtakes. Unlike this race where the drivers have just mainly used this as practice, a bit of track acclimatization. You get 50 minutes of free practice. You'd think that'd be a lot of time, but really you don't get much done in one 50-minute free practice session. You really don't get much done. And we did get that extended practice session because of the new cars. A lot of drivers didn't use pre-season testing very wisely. They spent the first 6 hours tuning the car. A few cars went out there for about 3 laps and then came back in. Another 3 laps came back in. Another 3 laps came back in. And then there were a few long runs by the end of the session with heavy fuel loads, getting used to race runs as well, qualifying simulations in the last 2 hours of pre-season testing. Made for a very, very good weekend of pre-season testing here at Abu Dhabi, where most of our rounds are held here, round number 2 and round number 1 of the championship, the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Trophy, certified by the FIA. Come 2026, it was always the FIA Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship. It stayed that way. The Formula Regional Middle Eastern Trophy Championship, certified by the FIA for 2026. We've got 4 minutes to go, and Rashid Al Lahiri starts to close up onto the back of our race leader of our High Cup. He's starting to close up onto the back. And that should make this a very interesting back end of this race as well. The drivers make their run out of the exit of turn number 1. And now into turn number 2. This is Maximilian Popov trying to chase down Rashid Al Lahiri with Kin Nakamura berthed up in behind, hunting him down. There, and Rashid Al Lahiri hunting down our race leader. 3.5 minutes to go. These drivers will get about 2 or 3 more laps, probably 4 laps, maybe 5 laps of this circuit. Maybe 4 laps, probably, left of this race. We've gone green flag through the whole of race number 1. I wouldn't be expecting a safety car. If there was to be a safety car, it would be the end of this race. With only 2 categories, we aren't running on a tight schedule. We are running on a quite clear schedule here for the Regional Middle Eastern Trophy. We have race number 1 of the F4 UAE from 9 o'clock local time in Abu Dhabi. 9 o'clock local time will be race number 1. These guys run through 7:30 right through to 8:30. Then we get the F4 UAE Championship out there from 9 o'clock for their first race. And race number 2 for these guys, starting from 4:30 tomorrow in Abu Dhabi. And we have what I would think 6 o'clock for the next race for the Regional Middle Eastern Championship. Then 8 o'clock is the F4 UAE Championship, then followed by the Middle Eastern Championship from 10 o'clock for their final race of the weekend, which will be very interesting indeed. 28 minutes plus 1 lap of racing. And we've gone through about 23 minutes worth at the moment. Minutes of racing around this iconic Abu Dhabi circuit. At the moment, the drivers make their run through the final couple of corners on this circuit. 1 minute 35 seconds remaining on the clock. We will get 2 more laps, I would guess, of this iconic Abu Dhabi circuit. Look for your favourite drivers through the run of turn number 13, turn number 9 on the F1 circuit. Running through your favourite drivers. He will get 2 more laps after this one. This one and another one of this Abu Dhabi circuit. Here, this will make this very, very interesting. Or I think the clock might run down and we'll get the final lap this time around. I think it might. With 48 seconds to go, we might get 2 laps, actually. We might. We're not really running on a tight schedule here at Abu Dhabi. So we have plenty of time. And I think these drivers are going to get to the line just in time. I think this is 1 to go. And it is. According to race control, this is 1 lap to go. Here for the Formula Reginol Trophy Championship. This is going to be good. Abazaka, who sits in P1. That was Felbel Neto, of course, who went off a bit earlier on today. Who went off the track. Who had a bit of a spinach. So that was him that went off the track with the spin. It was Felbel Neto, who now sits at the back of the grid. I think he might have a bit of suspension damage as well, having attacked with the Armco barrier. This is Rashid Al-Dahiri, who sits in behind of Al-Zaka, who might win his first race of the year. I think he might. Their line is turned as they make their run through the left-hander and out the other side. We've got about 4 corners to go on this iconic Abu Dhabi circuit. The lights are lit. Here for race number 1. The drivers making their run now through turn number 3 on the F1 circuit for the final time. And up this long back straight. There you go. Rashid Al-Dahiri sits in P2. Al-Zaka will be breaking the slipstream. We've seen some pretty epic battles. Will it happen? And will Rashid Al-Dahiri be late on the brakes? Will he? Into the chicane. He is late on the brakes. And Al-Zaka nearly went deep into the corner for the final time, though. Up the curb for the final time. And out of the final corner, the drivers go. And it's going to be Al-Zaka. And excuse me, last lap has now just been shown. There you go. So that's my fault there. I thought this lap was the final lap. This one coming, the final lap here for the Formula Reginol Championship. Through turn 1, the drivers go. I stand corrected. This is the final lap here, ladies and gentlemen. So I am wrong for that one. This is the last lap of the Grand Prix for all the drivers at the moment. 28 minutes plus 1 lap. It has been a brutal race for these drivers. Very much Sebastian Weldon has moved up to P20 at the moment. So he's moved up a spot in the Grand Prix. But it's all about this man. This time I can start to get a bit more hyped because I know it is the last lap. Race control did say it was the last lap, but apparently we're doing pretty well on time here at Abu Dhabi. So we've gone for 1 more. Making their run now through turn number 3 on the circuit. This, though, is turn 11 on the North Circuit. Beautiful shot. As the cars make their run down the back straight. That just shows you just how fast these cars are going. Down this back straight. And into the braking zone now. For the final time into the chicane. Rashid Al-Dahiri is not close enough to pull a move. But he's going to be late on the brakes. He's going to try and close up as much as possible. And he'll try and pull a slipstream. But I don't think it's going to happen. It's Abazaka who wins here in Abu Dhabi. What a race. What a first race for the championship. It's been absolutely amazing. Abazaka, Rashid Al-Dahiri and Maximilian Popov. 1, 2 and 3 on the grids.
That was such a difficult race to command. And yet, no matter what Rashid Al-Dahiri threw at him, he was ready for it every step of the way. Popov second, Nakamura Berta, Kato, Bal, Minovic, Ho, Rem, Costa, Sawerden and Andrea Kostic. A very tight race all the way through, and the first race of the Formula Regional F326 era does not have a single safety car. What a great start to the era. And it's great to see MP Motorsport, Race GP and Trident get their drivers to the podium. A fabulous, fabulous start to the season. And for Alexander Abkasaba in particular, that's the perfect start to the season. What a great race. All of the pressure, all of the difficulties that Aldaheri was giving to him all the way, but he would not budge. Alexander Abkasaba, the worthy, rightful winner. Rashid Aldaheri second, Max Popov in third place from Kia Nakamura Berta and Taito Kato. Alex Powell in P6 ahead of Alex Ninovic, Christian Hull, Maxim Ren and Miguel Costa. Then it's Reza Sawerden in front of Andrea Kostic, Artem Sevrukin, Jan Pedowski, Salim Hanna and Francisco Macedo from Newman Chi, Michael Beloff, Kai Dalianani and Andrea Dupé. Next up, Gerard Shi in front of Kabir Anurag, Dion Gauda all the way down to 23rd in the end from Yuki Sano, Giovanni Mascio, Jules Rossel, Enea Frey, August Raber, Matteo Giaccardi, Felix Fu, and rather sadly, Sebastian Weldon crawled back into the pits on the last lap, just ahead of Alsu Feldman Nito over the line. Race start, no further investigation necessary, so it looks to me as though there's no penalties to hand out from the start, which is great news. And that means that barring any other investigations, the result should stand. So back into pit lane comes the man from Kazakhstan. The MP Motorsport team returns to the Middle East for the first time since 2024. They missed the racing last year. We missed them big time. But what a return. Rashid Aldaheri can be very happy with second place in his first Formula Regional race of 2026 on his home circuit. He could have taken the risk. He didn't. And that's valuable points in the championship. He can be satisfied with the way his season has started. Third place and the rookie win for Max Popov. He'll be happy with that. That'll be 2 trophies for him to take away. But the victory, well, that goes the way of the boys in orange and black. Sander Dorsman's Flying Dutchman returned to the Middle East victorious. And they are delighted as here comes Alexander Abkasaba. The number 15 is triumphant in the first ever Formula Regional race for the Tartas F326. Max Popov is delighted with the rookie win in third position. And the team from MP Motorsport can start the ball rolling. They were absent in 2025. They're back in 2026. And they're already winners. Alex Abkasaba starts the MP Motorsport Middle East Renaissance in style. Well done to the team. A fantastic start and a brilliant run from Alexander Abkasaba and MP Motorsport. That's what it means to the family. What a start. MP Motorsport are back in the Middle East. And it's like they never left. Alex Abkasaba will be celebrating long into the night. And for at least the next few hours, he will be the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy points leader. We've got race 2 tomorrow. A lot of things can happen with it being a reverse grid race. But for now, the man on top is Alex Abkasaba, and rightly so.
Let's take a look at the highlights here, and it was a very, very good start there from our leader, Alex Avsgada, and Rashid Aldaheri sits in P2. The cars, mate, they run through a few cars off the road and up the curbs they went. But apart from that, everybody got a pretty good start. And they were able to make their run through the first couple of corners. Car off the road down there. And they were running side by side. And that was a car actually off the road. That car ended up in the air. This is Sato. We did see Sato off the road down there at the chicane. This is where it is. Sato clipping the arm coat barrier. And that would give him terminal suspension damage. He'd be out of the race. The drivers made their way through and we saw a few good passes up and down the grids. Side by side. Yep. And a few drivers there made their way through the grid, trying to make progression. We did see this spin. Well, we didn't see this spin. This was car number 59 who spun. The Rotor Motorsport team watched on, though. Their race leader looked quite dominant through most of this race. Held the lead. And nobody could stop him. Not even Rashid Al-Daheri. Made his run through the final chicane on the circuit. And it was Ad Kazava who took it all. Race number 1 and our points leader in the Formula Reginol Middle Eastern Trophy Championship. So what a race. What a race indeed. You can hear the track noise behind me there as we get ready for the podium celebrations to get out of the way. The drivers will probably make their way up to the podium and we'll hear Jake Sanson, who's done commentary, pit lane reporting, and more so far this weekend. He's done a very good job at it. Let me tell you that much. Jake Sanson deserves that promo, more or less. Very, very good job here. He deserves that promotion as well. Yeah, but a very good job from our race leader, Awazaka, who wins race number 1 and will be our points leader for the moment.
Winner who'll take away 2 trophies from this race. 3rd place and the leading rookie. In 2nd place for the United Arab Emirates, Rashid Al-Daheri.
So in 3rd place there was Maximilian Popov.
P2 in the first race of the season on home soil. The perfect start, very nearly. But the man who takes the top spot on the podium for Kazakhstan, Alexander Abkasava! It's a winning return for MP Motorsport, absent in 2025, but back to the basics in 2026. Now it is my honour to invite the Chorus Group President, Mr. Gianfranco De Bellis, who will come forward and present the trophies to our 3 men on the podium. Starting with the 3rd position trophy, and it goes to our man for Trident Motorsport and for Italy. In 3rd position, Max Popov! And to our man in 2nd position for the United Arab Emirates and Race GP, Rashid Al-Daheri! And to our race winner for Kazakhstan and MP Motorsport, Alexander Abkasava! And last but by no means least, the 2nd trophy for our rookie winner for Italy and Trident Motorsport, Max Popov! A hearty congratulations then to our 3 drivers on the podium as they pose for the photographs on the far side. And of course, they will get the chance to soak up the moment, the first ever Formula Regional race of the new era with the Tartas F326. A resounding success, a very close quarters race indeed. And now that the photographs are done, the drivers can celebrate in the time-honoured fashion. If I was Gianfranco De Bellis, I would make a quick exit very soon indeed. The final photograph. And of course, the moment that the drivers have all been waiting for as they celebrate in true motorsport style. Let's let our drivers at Formula Regional Middle East Trophy get busy with the fizzing! A A fabulous end to the first race of the 2026 Formula Regional Middle East Trophy. And there's more where that came from tomorrow as we go back into the action in race 2 and race 3. From all of us here at Top Speed, and of course at Formula Regional Middle East here at Yas Marina Circuit, from me, Jake Stanton, and everyone watching, thank you very much indeed for being with us. We'll do it all again for race 2 and race 3. Same place, same race. Bye for now.
What a race it has been there for race number 1 of the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship. Hope you guys have all enjoyed, and we'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same flipping place. I'm very excited. Race number 2. Tomorrow from 4:05, so about 5 minutes later than today. I'll catch you guys all then. Till then, it's goodbye.